In this video, I'm going to share 5 over 40 weight loss tips for women who are struggling to shift excess weight even though you're trying very hard. Weight loss for women over the age of 40 can be harder to achieve. The metabolism tends to slow down the older we get. So you might find the pounds just don't come off as easy as they did 10 or 20 years ago. But it's a natural thing and happens to most women. You're certainly not alone. And as you probably know, it's not just the metabolism that affects weight loss, there's the hormone changes too. You might not be there yet, but the closer to menopause women get, the levels of estrogen and testosterone can drop quite a lot. And this affects the ability for the body to keep the weight properly regulated. It can often lead to wanting to eat more and exercise less, which is not a good combination, especially if you think you already need to shed some pounds. Fortunately though, there are some things you can do to combat these issues. Some of these may seem simple and you already know them, but you need to ask yourself if you are really doing them. So here's tip number 1, get more sleep. A lack of sleep is something that affects millions of women in their 40s, 50s and beyond. Sweating, headaches and feeling generally uncomfortable in bed are just a few things that keep them awake. But this can affect your hormone levels even further and make you feel hungry when you might not even be. Naturally, this means that you will eat more than normal and that may turn into weight gain. And the whole cycle continues to repeat itself. Just be mindful of the amount of sleep you are getting and where possible, try and get at least the recommended 8 hours a night. Listen to your body. If you're tired during the day and it's possible, then take a nap. Our bodies didn't come with a rule book. Tip number 2, exercise more. Yes, there's certainly no prize for adding this tip onto the list. But the fact is, to keep the calories to a level that means you're burning them and not putting them on, then you have to exercise. Your nutrition is by far the most important thing, but exercise comes a close second. You don't have to head down to the gym every day and spend an hour on a treadmill. There are many ways you can keep fit doing everyday things. Just keep in mind, the more active you are, the more calories you are burning. If you find yourself sat down for long periods of time, just ask yourself if there's anything you could be doing instead. And then go and do it. Aerobic exercise is ideal, the type that gets you out of breath for at least a few seconds. But you should also consider adding strength training too, as our bodies lose muscle the older we get. This means we naturally don't burn as many calories, and this adds to putting on weight. So build up your muscle strength and it will help considerably to losing those excess pounds. Tip number 3, watch your carb levels. Carbohydrates and sugars are the things that will cause you to put on weight if you have too many of them. But the shocking thing is, many women don't even realise they're having too many. And this is because often the sugars can be hidden in certain foods and not apparent. So you need to learn what to cut down on and what you can have more of. The 3 main things you need to be aware of are sugars, processed foods and grains that are refined. We're talking about white carbs mainly, so things like bread, pasta and rice. If you do need a carb fix, then consider brown options instead, like brown rice, wholemeal bread and wholemeal pasta. These are a lot better for you. A well-balanced diet is the way forward and the main way that people keep the weight off. Forget the word diet, as it means a temporary fix. If you can eat a well-balanced diet of carbohydrates, proteins, fats and get your daily vitamins and minerals, then that's what to aim for. Tip number 4, keep a food diary. The older we get, the more forgetful we can become. Yes, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. So it's important that we keep a record of the food and drink that we consume on a daily basis. Not only is this helpful to see what we're actually having, but it also means we can track the calories very closely too. Sometimes just a small change is needed to your nutrition to make a huge difference. But it can be hard to find if you're not tracking what you're having. There are many ways you can do this, the good old-fashioned pen and paper way, but there's also lots of apps you can use on your phone or tablet devices. Many of these are free, you just have to download them. So start taking notes of everything that goes into your mouth, including food, drink, and those snacks when you think no one is looking. Write it all down. You might be surprised at just how much you are actually consuming. And finally, tip number 5, be careful when eating out. If you're a woman who likes to dine out, then this is one tip you should really pay attention to. The options you choose when eating out can massively affect your ability to lose weight. Not knowing how something is cooked, what it's cooked in, what's in the sauce, there's just so many variables you won't know. And that can all lead to a large amount of calories you really don't need right now. Fortunately, many restaurants now provide calorie counts on their foods, or at least offer some healthy alternatives. This can really help you out on the times when you do eat out. If you're ever unsure, don't be afraid to ask how something is cooked or what is in the sauce. It's your body and you need to know what you're putting into it. So that concludes these over 40 weight loss tips for women. We hope you've found them useful and they help you to lose those excess pounds that you might have been struggling with for a long time. But before you go, check out our website over40squad.com, where we share lots of useful information on health, weight loss and more, specifically for the over 40s. You'll see the link to our website right below this video now. Thanks for watching.